Hi everyone, this is Darren from Fast Track Property. I did this video a while back, but after reviewing it, I realized that it has still a lot of applications and very relevant in today's market. So here it goes for you to take a look, for you to plan your real estate cycle or property investment better in Singapore, right? And to really help me out, do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Hi everyone, what's up? This is Darren from Fast Track Property, where I transform your lives and improve your destination. Okay, today I'm going to speak to you a little bit about, introduce to you what I call a real estate hack in Singapore, alright, where you actually take a particular home that you have and how are you going to fast track this property to a better asset class, or moving forward, how are you going to multiply this property into 2 or 3 properties in the future. Something that could maybe take you 15 years to do it on your own, but with what I'm going to share with you today, you're going to shorten that to about 5 to 8 years, alright? But it's also something which is really conflicting to many people, because a lot of us are into that mindset whereby if I would buy a property today, I want to live and enjoy it with my family members, alright, and then if I'm able to pay off that loan every single month, that is fine. I do not want to make myself inconvenient or uncomfortable for that matter, right? But for this to really work, I want to introduce to you actually a concept whereby I felt that it is very practical. You could use it, but you have to be willing to pay that price today to be able to pay any other price you have in future. What do I mean by that? I'm going to run through with you 3 scenarios, because there is no stigma in buying a HDB property first if you are unable to move on to a private property for that matter. But if I would say that if you do not plan to move on to a better asset class for yourself and your family, that is really your own fault. Okay, so here I'll run through with you 3 scenarios. Number 1 is for a particular couple where it's earning $10,000 a month and moving on and purchasing their first HDB property. All right, come, let's go on to the board. So this property here, as you can see, is a 4-room flat priced at $450,000. Right, this will break down to $1,431 for mortgage over here, and we're assuming for all 3 scenarios, all families are actually earning a $10,000 income every single month. What I'm proposing, is you have already gone through all my other videos, is for you to be able to pay off your mortgage in cash every single month while using your CPF platform to work and get a better interest rate and return on your monies, right? So basically the disposable income you can use every single month will be $10,000 over here, minus off whatever that you could have for your mortgage, and this will actually bring you down to $6,569 to spend every single month. Okay, so basically as of right now, there are so many things that every single family is very concerned about, right? Children expenses, insurance expenses, some even having car expenses, holiday expenses. So it's something that you and your spouse must really sit down and ask yourself, which do you want to prioritize? Okay, so over here, I personally feel that if you have a $6,500 disposable income every single month for a 4-room flat, I think it's quite good, right? I think you can have to live quite comfortably every single month if you want. But what I'm proposing is that because this is a 4-room flat, and if you do not need to use all 3 bedrooms, I'm proposing that you actually rent out 1 bedroom. Okay, and if you do that, what happens is that you're able to receive about $800 of rental every single month. And if you were to continue to have this tenant for the next 5 years, this is going to accumulate you a total of $48,000 that your property has actually provided for you. All right, and because you've been paying off your mortgage by using your cash here every single month, you're actually having $2,300 in your CPF account working for you for the next 5 years. Okay, so effectively the CPF that you have accumulated for the next 5 years could easily come up to $145,000, and if you combine these 2 amounts, you have close to $200,000 in cash and CPF. Now, for this scenario, you realize that this couple could now easily, if they have bought this particular property under a single person's name, freeing off the other party with just 1 name, right, with no ownership to any other assets in Singapore, they could then easily buy their next property, okay, using whatever cash reserve that they have already saved over the past 5 years plus a CPF, and moving on to a better class property. Or if they didn't want to do that, maybe in the beginning they needed to have 2 incomes to be able to enjoy the loan to purchase a $450,000 property, they can then sell this property and easily move on to a better class asset. Okay, but this will not be possible if you have the same thinking that no, it is very hassle, I do not want to lease out my property, I want to do everything by myself. Okay, over here I'm asking you to take the smarter choice, make use of your property to be the one producing that gold nugget for you and your family. Okay, so now I move on to the second scenario of a 3-bedroom condominium, somebody who had made more savings over the years, more prudent with the money, and they started off and said that I want to purchase a 3-bedroom condominium. All right, same, it could just be a couple with 1 or 2 kids, right, really young children, having the same type of expenses as a 4-roomer, I am assuming, right, also having to pay off their insurance, they are paying every single year, or even their children's education every single month, right, and all the enrichment classes. Okay, so now moving on, for a 3-bedroom condominium, we're assuming that they actually purchase a property at $1 million. All right, so obviously their monthly mortgage is going to be very different. The monthly mortgage will be at $2,772, you can see over here. So I'm assuming again the same thing, family income of $10,000. All right, now again I'm proposing that over here, what they do is that they're going to use the same income here, okay, and pay this off in cash if possible. And every single month, they will have a disposable income of $5,228. Now, I'm not so sure whether this amount is going to be too little for you to survive on every single month, right? But if it's not, and you realize that you're buying a lot of unnecessary things, so it's a lot to do with delayed gratification, right? If you want to go and buy that nice brand new car, maybe you could hold it out, buy your bigger assets first, and buy that liability further down the road. Okay, or if you always have thought of wanting to go for a Europe trip, maybe you can push it off and go to a nearby Asian country first before spending the whole amount, 3 weeks of holiday, buying all your branded bags at a later date. All right, okay, so moving on over here, I will also say that I will propose that if you have a 3-bedroom condominium and 1 bedroom is empty, to lease it out, and easily for a condominium, you could easily lease out this property for at least $1,000 a month. All right, and if you were to move this on to for 5 years, you have totally accumulated $60,000 in rental income. All right, so I like to illustrate again, this $60,000, you didn't earn it on your own. All you did was choose a tenant that you really like, a single tenant, or even a couple for the matter, right? Something that you are able to gel with and you find you're happy with to stay on the longer term, or it's easy for you to even change to a new tenant for the matter, okay? And because the same thing, you'll be paying your mortgage using your cash, okay? And in the next 5 years, what you could do is that your CPF will have worked the same amount as a 4-room flat of $145,000. In total, you have in excess of more than $200,000 cash and CPF that you have accumulated over the past 5 years. Now, after 5 years, what can you then do? You could do 2 things, right? One, because right now you already have a plan that you want to buy your second property and you want to own multiple properties in Singapore, right? So this is really a dream that every Singaporean would like to have. Join 2 names for this condominium, you can now decouple. Decouple meaning to say that one party could then just buy over the other party's share. Okay, and when you do that, you realize a few things will happen. When you do that, and the first owner will to sell to the second owner, the first owner will take over the new loan and the balance loan. When you do that, what happens is that the first owner is able to approach a bank, refinance and stretch the loan tenure, because right now this property could now become an investment property, and then you wanted to get and make as much yield as you want from this property. So when she does that, the 272 mortgage will now then come down to only 2417, okay, every single month. What does this mean? Meaning to say that right now, she has an option. If now she moves us to her spouse's new place, right, and keeps it as an investment property, what's the cash flow and how is it going to work in her favor? Assuming rental is going to easily be $3,000 for a 3-bedroom condominium, right, plus using her CPF of 150, right, minusing off from this mortgage, total here she have 4150. In total, she have an excess about 1700 in cash, $1,700 in cash from this property every single month that she could use it to move on to pay off the next property, bringing down the liabilities of the entire household mortgage by $1,700. All right, and at the same time still own 2 properties. Okay, but if let's say you are thinking that no, you want to enjoy yourself, you could keep this $1,700 away every single month, maybe have a cheat year, keep this for a year, you have about 20 grand, and go on that long awaited Europe holiday. Okay, right? So now, third scenario, if you're now a slightly better savings, better income, your income is going to be the same, and they now choose to actually buy a dual key property. How is it going to work for this particular scenario? So for this 3-bedroom dual key, this all means that it is a 2-bedroom and a 1-studio apartment, right? And the purchase price will definitely be much higher because this is not a unit that they have converted on their own. It was already purchased like that. Okay, so the seller is already there. It comes with 2 doors that they are able to rent out. So assuming they stay in one and rent out the other one, the mortgage is going to be much higher than before, 3,659. Okay, and using a family income of $10,000, if you were to minus off, then paying this in cash is going to be slightly on the worrying side of only 4,341 disposable income every single month, and it's something that most families are not going to be very comfortable with, right? So for this particular case, you could then use one party's CPF to pay for the mortgage and the other party to keep. Okay, so this means that you bump this up right now to 1,150. This actually gives you at least a disposable income of 5,491 that you could be a little bit more comfortable with. All right, now moving forward, because the other part, which is a studio that is being rented out, the rental yield you could get from that property is about $1,600 a month. All right, so in 5 years, what you're going to get over here will be around 96K. Okay, and the CPF that the other party has actually collected will be about 72,500. All right, so this house will comes out to be about 168,000. Okay, so moving on here, what happens is that as the years go by and you've accumulated this money, and now it's time for you to decouple, right? Decouple meaning to say that now the first owner, like the previous example, is able to buy over the shares of the husband or the other partner and moving on to the next property. So over here it becomes very beautiful because now you have one house, dual key, but right now you can rent out 2 individual parts. So how is it going to be like for this property in 5 years time? In 5 years time, it's going to change tremendously because the same thing is going to happen is that they're going to refinance this property, bringing down the mortgage from 3,659 to, let me just say, to about 3,189 every single month. Okay, and on one part rental will be 1,600, the other part could now be 2,200, and these are all real transaction prices, right? For a 2-bedroom, it's an amount that can easily rent out. A total you could get here is about $3,800, and your mortgage now is only 3,189. Every month you have a positive about $600 to $700 in cash. Okay, and again, if you were to choose to use your CPF to pay this property, right, you have an additional 1,150, so you're about coming close to 2,000 extra every single month. All right, then again, you could use this extra cash every single month to now pay off the second property that your partner has actually purchased, or again, use that and finally keep that money for 1 or 2 years and buy down that dream car that you always wanted. Okay, but if you are really willing to pay the price for the longer term, okay, you are able now to accumulate this cash every single month, which is $2,000. Multiply this by the next say 10 years, for example, or 5 years, and with additional savings that you could actually take, now keep more of this money and then purchase your commercial property, because for this household they've already owned 2 properties. Alright, so this kind of sums up what this real estate hack is all about in Singapore. Is for you to use your property to produce more money for you, right? So you're able to shorten that particular journey of real estate that you could take actually longer number of years to achieve it in a much shorter time. Okay, I hope this has been actually a meaningful session for you, and I hope you have gotten good content from this and able to discuss with your spouse how to actually improve your lives even better. Talk to you soon.